is on. Good morning to everyone in this room and everyone joining us on the World Wide Web. This is the GFA press conference for today, Thursday, June 1, and we are here to talk about our upcoming season, the new season 2023-2024, and all that is in store for us for football here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And this morning is also a special morning because we are going to be presenting to the clubs of the GFA prize monies for the last season. So that's something to look forward to. I would like to recognize the presence of our president, Mr. Marlon Glean, and other members of our executive here today, and as well a special morning to our affiliates here today for this ceremony. Welcome, everyone. Without further ado, I would like to now turn it over to Mr. Glean, who will give insight into what we can expect for the action-packed season coming up, 2023-2024. Mr. Glean.
Thank you, Ria. Good morning to everyone here in attendance, all the clubs affiliated to the GFA. Good morning to the media personnel and media houses. And a special good morning to all the people who are watching from abroad, regionally and internationally. Good morning and welcome to the launch of this year's league, our national league. We're finally about to kick off a new league after 2 years of an existing season. The season that just concluded last week started in 2021, and we were finally able to complete it sometime last weekend. First, I would like to congratulate all the winners, Hurricane FC for winning the Premier League, Sunsetters for winning the conference, and Happy Hill FC for winning the play-off match and getting promoted to the Premier League. So we have 2 new teams in the Premier League this year, Sunsetters from St. Max and Happy Hill FC from Happy Hill. So I'd like us to congratulate those 2 teams for being promoted, and we wish them the best of luck in this upcoming season. Over the last year, we spoke a lot about the new structure of the upcoming Premier League and also the conference. And most importantly is the prize structure, which we felt was a deterrence in some instances, which we felt was a demotivational factor in some instances. And we felt that in order to attract more football, more support, a more attractive package, we figured that we had to increase the allocation of prize monies for this upcoming season. So when we start on June 17th, the Premier League winner is going to receive $100,000 for winning the league. Additionally, second prize 60, third prize 40, fourth prize 20, and then every other participating team from 5th to 10th will receive $10,000. Additionally, the conference teams, this year, the conference is going to be divided into 2 groups. We're going to have a first division and we're going to have a second division. We're also going to increase the prize monies for the conference competitions. We have an executive committee meeting this weekend, and we're going to actually approve the numbers prior to the start of the competition. But there'll be increase in prizes in all aspects of the competition this year. Additionally, we're also going to be bringing back the football to the communities. So as a result, on June 17, the competition, the Premier League, will kick off at the Alston George Park in Victoria, where we're going to have the defending champions, Hurricane SC, versus the newly promoted Happy Hill FC in the first game of the season in Victoria on June 17th at 4 p.m. Thereafter, the rest of the games are going to continue. The reason for bringing the games back to the community is to get the community involved. We must get, in Victoria, over the years, they play their home matches in Guelph. And if you ask a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old kid from Victoria as to when last he's seen his home team play, probably never. So it was important that we bring the football back to the community for the support, and most importantly, to get the community involved. We know it's important, if Hurricane plays in Victoria or if Paradise play in Paradise, it's important that, the vendors, the individuals, the shops and bars, everyone can benefit from the match. Additionally, we're going to be having, double headers from time to time in some fields, especially those that are properly lighted, where we're going to focus on a particular match day and have a double header in some instances. Also, for the first time, the leagues, or at least the Premier League, is going to be broadcasted on FIFA Plus, which is FIFA's new television station. So at any match can be seen throughout the world, live, and additionally, every week, there'll be highlights from all the matches played during that week. So anywhere in the world, someone can tune into FIFA Plus under the Grenada icon and watch the Premier League matches live from wherever you are, whatever nationality you are, from around the world. You can watch live football matches on FIFA Plus. FIFA Plus caters for or expects hundreds of millions of individuals to be tuned in. Obviously, there are tons of different leagues around the world, but at any given day, once the schedule goes out, someone in Vietnam, someone in Nicaragua, someone in Trinidad or St. Vincent can tune in to watch whether it's Happy Hill versus Paradise or Hard Rock versus Sunsetters. At any point, someone can tune in to watch the match. So that's a new aspect of the league this year. We've been in a lot of discussions over the last couple of months with FIFA and the contractors who are responsible for bringing those games live. The expectation is some revenues can be generated from the live streaming of the game on FIFA Plus. And there'll be benefits to the actual clubs. But additionally, the clubs get an opportunity to raise funds during their home matches. Whether you're playing in Happy Hill or you're playing in Victoria or you're playing in Guelph or you're playing in River Road, the clubs get an opportunity to raise funds to help support themselves. So, as I said before, it was critical and it was important that we do all the matches in the community. The conference matches, as we said, is going to be divided into two. There'll be a first division and a second division. The first division will comprise of the top 8 teams, or the top 8 teams in the previous conference competition. Since Happy Hill and Sunsetters got promoted, the 2 teams that are relegated are going to join the other 6 teams in the first division. That'll be Eagles and Shantimel. So we'll have 8 teams in the conference, and then for the second division would be the remaining teams in the conference, plus some of the clubs who would like to have development teams playing during that period. So we know, areas like Victoria, Paradise, Guelph, St. John Sports, some of these teams have tons of players who are unable to make the first team. So the second division provides an opportunity for them to fill a second team, a reserve team. So these players can continue to play over a period of time and have their coaching staff have a look at them. And at some point in the season, or maybe the following season, they can get called up to their first team or their Premier League teams. So that's another option for areas where there are lots of players, River Road in terms of Rangers, Paradise, Hard Rock. Some of these clubs have lots of players, even in Happy Hill now, with Bulldogs not participating. There's tons of players in that area who may not be able to make the first team, but at least can compete in a reserve team in the second division. So we are excited about this season. This season is going to be a pilot. It's going to be an opportunity for us to see where we are with more revenues to the different leagues. We expect more competitive football. We expect more support. We expect more community involvement because the stakes are much higher than previously. And we expect it to have a very exciting, very competitive season. And we look forward to crowning the champions at the end of the year. So that will be the structure. We kick off on the 17th of June, Hurricane versus Happy Hill in the first game. And then we go through the rest of the season. Additionally, I forgot to add that in between those, we're going to have at least 2 more cups, 2 more knockout competitions, where every team in Grenada can come in and participate. Those going to be somewhere in the middle of the season. So at some times we're going to break to do knockout competitions. And we expect a very exciting 2023 season. Thank you.
Thank you. And you've heard it all, increased prize monies. We're going digital on FIFA Plus. So there's so much to look forward to for the upcoming season. And now we get to the place where we make our presentations for the prize monies for last season. So I would invite our president to step forward here. And you can, okay. All right, so we will start with the top 3 teams in the Conference League playoffs. So I will go in ascending order. So we start with 3rd place. We have St. David's FC. They ended on 10 points with 3 wins and 1 draw and 2 losses. But we do not have a representative for St. David's here. So we will move on to the 2nd place in the Conference League playoffs, Happy Hill FC. A total of 12 points, 4 wins, 2 losses. Congratulations, Happy Hill FC. Also, as you heard, they won their promotion relegation playoff against Eagle Super Strikers, and they are now promoted to the Premier League. And the 1st place in the Conference League playoff, Sunsetters FC. They were unbeaten. They ended on 16 points with 5 wins and 1 draw. Sunsetters unbeaten, winning the Conference League playoff. Also promoted to the Premier League. All right, now we move into the Premier League. In 10th place, we have Shantimel FC. In 9th, Eagle Super Strikers. In 8th place, Sab Spartans, but we do not have representatives here as yet. And so I'll just move to 7th place. We have Mountrich SC. 22 points. And we are in the home of Queen's Park Rangers. Queen's Park, 6th place, 28 points. We go to the north, Hard Rock, 5th place, 28 points. Coming to the top 4, St. John's Sports, 29 points from their 18 matches. 3rd place, FC Camahon, 31 points. And now we come to the top 2, just to let you know, only 2 points separated the top 2 teams. So in 2nd place, congratulations to Paradise FC International, 45 points. We were told that the representative had delays, so they would get their check afterward. And in 1st place, Hurricanes SC, 47 points from their 18 matches played, 15 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Congratulations, Hurricanes SC. All right, so I would like to thank our president for the presentation and ask him to return to the podium. For the members of the media who are here with us, Kern is here with us. Thank you, Mikey Live, for being here. Kern, any questions?
Any changes despite the 2 cups that we
In terms of the structure, it remains the same. All teams going to play home and away. And at the end of the season, the teams with the most points wins the league. The only addition, as I said, is at least 2 additional cups, which we expect to complete within the season. But generally, the structure remains the same. And then we go, as I said, back to the community. So Hurricane Sunsetters gets an opportunity to play at their home ground in Victoria. Happy Hill gets to play at their home ground in Boucherville. Generally, it remains the same for the other teams. Paul, the home ground listed on their registration. And the whole idea, as I said, is to get back Grenada into football. How do we get, if you pull Hurricane or Sunsetters out of Victoria to let them play in Guave, I'm not sure how much of a fan base actually follows them down to watch a match, unless it's a game that counts at the end. I was there at the last game of the season when Hurricane played, I think it was St. John's Sports, correct? And, a couple buses came down to support the team. But generally, when you watch the game in the middle of the season, a Sunsetters against Camahon in Guave on a Sunday evening, I'm not sure how much of a fan base supports or comes down to support compared to if they would have played at home. So we need to get the football in the community and attract the community back to the football and get football on a high again. Traditionally, that's been the how we operated in Grenada before. So every little kid, would watch their home heroes, their home stars, and set benchmarks. As a kid, you watch the guys who are on your local team, and that's what you want to be like at first, before you even get to watching the Ronaldos and the Messis on TV. So how do we create home stars and home heroes? So our 8-year-old, 9-year-old in Grand Roy Government School or Park School or in Happy Hill RC School, how do we get these little kids to actually come to the park and watch the home stars play and set a benchmark for them to try to reach in a few years? I did it as a kid, and I'm sure many of you here did it growing up. Your first stars were the guys you actually saw play football daily in your communities. So we have to bring the football back to the community. And with that, I believe that we can get Grenada back into watching football.
Also, in regards to the Premier League also, I know the ultimate decision will have to lie with the club itself. But any plans in terms of assisting clubs in regards to the club championships that's hosted?
Yeah, that's a good question. Every year when the CONCACAF Shield comes up, the CFU, CONCACAF Shield, with all the winner of the amateur leagues in the Caribbean, the first thing I do is to look to see if Grenada is going to be represented. I believe the last time Grenada was represented was a lot of years ago when Hard Rock participated. And we know the challenge. The challenge is the cost of participating. And the question is, how do you mitigate? GFA will do whatever it can to assist the eventual champions so that they can participate, because it's a good opportunity. It's not professional football, but it's the next level down. It's a good opportunity for local clubs to go out in the region and compete and test themselves with the rest of amateur clubs in the region. This year, the schedule recently came out. Again, there is no Grenada presence at the Shield, and we hope that next year the champions of this year can participate with support not just from GFA but corporate Grenada and government. How can we support the eventual champions this year to participate in this regional competition next year? I'm sure the whole of Grenada are going to be excited to see one of the home teams participating against the best of teams from Suriname and Haiti and wherever else in the Caribbean. So I think it's important, and the GFA would do whatever they can in terms of support financially. But in addition, we're hopeful that corporate Grenada, government, and even individuals in the diaspora can help, because some of these teams came from the same communities they came from. So we do hope, and we look forward to our teams participating next year.
My final question in regards to the league also. One of the main issues during the leagues every year has to do with the regulations. Has the council got an opportunity to go through the regulations and probably make amendments or so to it?
Yeah, you're correct with that. For whatever reason, it seems as far back as I can remember, like every GFA tournament, there is always some issue that puts the competition at pause during the middle of the competition. Sometimes we can look at the regulations. Sometimes we look at processes. What we've seen over a period of time, matters go to disciplinary committee, etc., and takes forever to get sorted. And the hope is that these things can change with this year. As I said, this year is a lot of injection of funds into the competition this year. And while we're doing a sizable investment into the competition this year, we expect that the regulations, the turnaround in terms of decisions, And even small things like, the referee showing up at the field. And the fields are prepared. And the fields are marked. And there are flags. These are all the issues we've been experiencing for a lot of years in Grenada football. The hope is that from this year, we can start making drastic changes. So the competition is not held up every other week or so because of some small dispute or something as small as only one official out of 4 showing up for matches. So the regulations, I think, has been set, Mr. Campbell. It'll be shared with the affiliates, the council, and I'm hopeful that it's much stronger than before. And some of the issues that has continued to pop up over the years can be at least taken care of using the regulation. But the regulation itself is not sufficient. How do we as an organization make sure that there is everything in place to ensure that the tournament or the competitions run smoothly? Just the small things like just making sure that the schedule doesn't clash with events, activities. Carnival is coming up. Even when there is an event in a particular community, for example, a match the day after St. Mark's Day or the day of St. Mark's Day is always an issue. A match the day of Fisherman's Birthday or the day after Fisherman's Birthday is always an issue. And there are other community events, activities that happens throughout Grenada that our competitions department needs to be aware of as early as possible. Than a day before we actually rescheduling matches. And once you start rescheduling matches, then it's a rippling effect. And that can cause that competition to go much longer than expected. So the hope, and I'm going to challenge the office, I'm going to challenge the General Secretary, the Competitions Department, the Competitions Committee, the Disciplinary Committee, to let's focus this year on trying to turn around things and preparing much better so that we don't have all the hiccups we've previously had in competitions in Grenada.
I know I said final question, but this one is not Premier League related, and I don't know if you're in a position to answer right now. The association and in turn Grenada stands to benefit from a recently launched initiative by FIFA. We have a workshop going on in Jamaica right now. Can you care to comment or share some insight into that?
Sure. Presently in Jamaica, there is a regional meeting on football in schools. Something we've been discussing over the last couple months. A matter of fact, the individuals from football in schools were supposed to visit Grenada since February to do a workshop, but it was postponed because they figure after a while they had planned the Jamaica regional meeting. So it's a grassroots initiative by FIFA, but the grassroots happens at the school level. The intention is to get all the physical education teachers, etc., involved in football so that they can promote football at the various schools. To date, there's only been one pilot project in our region. It was done in Guyana sometime last year. So he hasn't been implemented anywhere else in the Caribbean as yet. Well, if we consider Puerto Rico Caribbean, Puerto Rico and then Guyana. And the idea was for Grenada to be the next pilot project before it was widely implemented in the region. But as I said, we had some delays. The individual who was supposed to come had left the office. And then we were advised that we should just wait on and participate in the regional meeting, which is currently being held in Jamaica. What football in schools is, FIFA provides an app that schools can, or physical education teachers can log into to get drills, to get plans in terms of what they're going to demonstrate at the schools. It's also an opportunity for the GFA, FIFA, and government to partner. So that's the first step, getting a partnership arrangement between Grenada Football Association, Government of Grenada, and FIFA to make sure that it can work and work effectively. We've already had discussions with the government, all the way up to the Prime Minister. We've discussed it, and they're quite aware. We even have a letter from government indicating their support for the program. In Guyana, for example, what the government did was ensure that at least 1 hour every week was dedicated to football. So every primary school in Guyana was going to dedicate at least 1 hour out of the day for football activities. That was part of the arrangement. Every country is going to have a different arrangement, but the hope is that we can get the cooperation of the Ministry of Education, who's responsible for all the schools, and we hope that we can get all the primary schools in Grenada involved in the program so that we can continue to develop the football, especially at the school level. You know, at the school is where you can find every kid in Grenada. It's more difficult to capture them in the community because a kid can be living probably somewhere in Tempe right now, and there's a program at Queen's Park Rangers has a program right here, and that kid may be a very good player, probably goes to one of the local schools, but because of where he or she lives, it's difficult to get to the actual playing field where the activity is happening. And for example, in St. John, a kid may be from Cloger or Florida, and when you're asking them on a Saturday morning to come to Cuthbert Peters Park, it's probably going to be difficult. But at school, every kid is at school somewhere. So if we can have this program at every school in Grenada, we know we can capture every kid who is probably under the age of 14 or under the age of 13 at the primary schools. So we hope, all the principals, all the teachers, will give us full cooperation in terms of implementing the Football in Schools program. And if we can get it done right, every kid in Grenada are going to be exposed to football. Every kid in Grenada are going to be playing football at some point during the week of school. And that will help lend itself to more development and more participation in the sport.
All right, that's it for you, Karan? Okay, and that brings us to the end of our press conference to share with you plans for our upcoming season 2023-2024. You've heard all the wonderful things coming up. We're going digital for FIFA Plus, $100,000 for the winner of the Premier League, football going back into the communities. So it is indeed going to be an action-packed season. So again, congratulations to our winners here today, our affiliates. Without you, we could not make our competitions and so possible. So thank you for the role that you play in football in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And with that, thank you everyone for joining us, and do enjoy the rest of your day.